Now, the final game in this little run for our interim manager is Millwall away. Couple of scrappy games last time out, Steve. I think Ryan Fraser scored a late winner last time we played them away. We lost, I think, 2-1 at home as well. Yeah. So there's not a lot to kind of write home about in terms of this fixture. But they've got a few injury problems, I think, haven't they, ahead of Saturday? So we can go there with our tails up and maybe a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, they're very much down to sort of the old Harry Redknapp bare bones in the squad. From what I've seen, I think they might even be up to double figures in terms of first team squad members out injured. I read a stat that I think there's only 2 players who have been available for the matchday squad in every game this season.
Wow.
So everybody has missed some time, which is absolutely extraordinary. Which I think some Millwall fans seem to be putting down to how kind of hard Alex Neil works the team in training. So they're not only are they knackered sort of on the training ground, they then go into games and the slightest bit of sort of extra work kind of takes them sort of over the red line and something goes ping.
That's crazy. I mean, they started the season well, didn't they? They had a few sort of decent results. But just recently, the wheels have come off a bit.
Yeah, the results, by the sound of it, haven't really matched performances. They've probably played weirdly in a lot of the games they've lost. They've played better. They've played better and didn't deserve to lose. And yet, with some of the wins, they've probably not played as well. So it's a lot of it's been a little bit sort of topsy turvy like that. They obviously play Sheffield Wednesday, kicking off in about a minute's time.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the time of recording or streaming, they haven't played Wednesday. That game's just about to start. But you wouldn't bet against Wednesday, would you?
Well, I mean, when obviously Wednesday got a fairly comfortable beating in the derby on Sunday, but they've not looked hopeless by any stretch of the imagination. They weren't great against us, but they looked competent. They certainly didn't look like the sort of side that was where the squad was thrown together from waifs and strays and Barry Bannon in the summer. And yeah, they've probably been a little bit better than most people expected. I think everyone expected them to take an absolute hiding every week, and that's just not happened.
Yeah.
But Millwall will be expected to win tonight, and if they don't, then the natives will undoubtedly get restless. But they'll go into Saturday with very, very sort of low expectations, I would imagine. They won't, given our form, both in terms of results and performances, they'll be looking, I would imagine they'll look at it fairly pragmatically and say, well, look, if we get anything out of this, it's a bit of a bonus. But they've got to have probably got to have beaten Sheffield Wednesday tonight first to kind of have that attitude, because I think a win will take them back into the playoff places, whereas a defeat would then leave us 2 points behind, so an opportunity to go past them on Saturday.
Could be a scrappy game, Glenn, but you know that we will be well prepared. They're all going to know what they need to do. You know that he's going to look at the opposition. Do you think Jack Stevens might come back in?
I would have thought so. It's an away game that can be a bit of an intimidating atmosphere. I mean, it was mentioned this week that Jack Stevens is still seen as the main leader of the squad. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he comes back in. I mean, the fact that we've got an extra day to recover the Millwall, that should play into our hands, especially if they've got players nursing injuries.
Good shout.
We've barely had to move for 45 minutes as well.
Yeah, we had the second half off.
Yeah, so I think that'll. I mean, having that many injuries, going back to that can't be a coincidence, can it? I mean, you can't just be unlucky and have that many injuries. It is clearly something that they're doing that leaves them that short. I know Will Smallbone is on loan there, isn't he? And he's out for months.
Yep.
Yeah, he's out for 3 months, hamstring. Probably tried to run. So they've got lots.
I know the feeling.
So they've obviously got their problems. I mean, just hopefully, regardless of the result doesn't really matter as far as we're concerned tonight. But we just want Sheffield Wednesday to give them a really good game, so they can't rest players in the second half and all that sort of stuff. And we need them to be as tired as possible by the time they rock up on Saturday. But whatever Millwall side rocks up on Saturday, the way we're playing at the moment, you've got to go there confident of getting a result, and I don't see why we wouldn't be. I mean, they lost to Pompey last week. That's Pompey's first win for 6-7 weeks.
Was it 3-0?
3-1.
That's 3-1.
3-1.
But I mean, Millwall had 10 men for a lot of it, and it was 2-1 going into the last minute. So, they've done reasonably well this season. They always seem to have a spell every season in the Championship where they show the kind of form that might get them into a playoff position, and then they kind of fall away before the season's done. So I'm quite quietly confident, and we'll go there and do a job on them. I don't see why we wouldn't.
The only problem, Steve, might be the expectations from fans. We're all expecting, as Glenn says, we're expecting them to go there and get a result. So as long as they don't take it for granted, then we should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously part of the sort of management game, isn't it? I mean, the old Nigel Adkins thing, isn't it? Don't get too high when you're winning. Don't get too low when you're losing. And as long as he can kind of keep people stabilised, and that'll be the job of senior players in the dressing room as well. We'll see how that goes. I mean, as you say, the expectation levels are now rising pretty sharply. They were pretty high at the start of the season.
Yeah, sorry, Steve, just to jump in. Just on that, there was an interview I saw with, I think it was Taylor Harwood-Bellis, where he basically said they didn't really talk about the Charlton game much because it was immediately all about preparing for the, for the Leicester game. So it sounds on the face of it that the attitude is, that's gone now. We have to go. We have to start again. So it does sound like they're on top of it. I mean,
and those two game weeks are going to help, I guess, aren't they? When you're playing sort of Tuesday, Saturday. Saturday.
I mean, the longer. I mean, do you remember a couple of years ago when we had the not losing run when we got to 25 games? You could see that Bristol City away game. You could see it coming, because we were gradually getting more sort of arrogant, if that's the word, about
that was part of that. And but a lot of that was bred in the fan base, wasn't it, with the song?
Yeah.
And I mean, the players feed off of that, and you had that, and also we started to pick up injuries, didn't we? We were getting little niggles here and there, losing 2 or 3 players for a week at a time. I mean, they weren't generally big injuries, but they were awkward enough that we were having to chop and change quite a lot. And you could see by the time we got to that Cardiff game, obviously the unbeaten run had already gone by then, but once we got to that Cardiff game was that in May, maybe still in middle of April, we were running on fumes. And we were basically winning games through sheer sort of force of will and just being able to get the job done at the end. I mean, that Watford game where Down scores in the 99th minute or whatever it was. I mean, you get that game done. And actually that was a game that ordinarily at any other stage of the season, you either win it comfortably or you collapse and give away the lead like we did in that game, but you don't then go again and get the winner. We were kind of doing it all on muscle memory, and whereas this kind of feels, given the stage of the season, the players aren't tired. You've not had the rigors of a hard season. You've not been through the Christmas period yet. I mean, that's going to be fascinating to see how we get on. Going through that period where you're playing every 2 or 3 days. And that's a tough run of games, by the way. Coventry the week before Christmas. Oxford away is not a gimme. Birmingham away certainly isn't. Millwall at home and then Middlesbrough away. That is a run of games where if you get 3 wins, you're pretty happy, I think. So that feeds into the point we were talking about the midfield. That's when your Oriol Romeo comes into the team, isn't it? When Flynn Downs eats some dodgy turkey or whatever. But we've got players. We've got players to come in. Yes, we'd struggle to replace someone like Cienza, and we'd struggle to replace Adam Armstrong.
But if we've got enough players in other areas where we should be, we should be okay. But I mean, that's for another day. I mean, we're 4 games into this run. The players are riding on a crest of the wave at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't see us turning up at Millwall and dropping in a stinker. We know it will happen at some point, but I don't.
But not this weekend.
I don't see it happening yet. But but in this league, anyone can beat you, really. So if Millwall have a great performance, crowd gets behind them, it could be a very, very difficult afternoon. But
it'd be nice to see Romeo on the bench, maybe. I don't know whether that'd be a bit too soon, but it'd be nice to see him in the squad.
It's a possibility, isn't it? Because you would assume that Cam Bragg is going to be starting. Shay Charles ain't going to be fit. Flynn Down's obviously suspended. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it'd be Romeo or Barnaby Williams, won't it, on the bench? If he's fit enough to play for sort of 15-20, I would imagine he'll be on there.
Happy days. Let's do some predictions then. Online, we had over 130 entries for our predictions league. 91 people predicted a Saints win against Leicester, which is
how the tide turns, eh?
It used to be about 9, didn't it? 5 people got the score absolutely spot on. 5 people said it was going to be 3-0. So well done to them. Steve, score prediction from you. What are you thinking?
I mean, ultimately, we've got to kind of see what happens this evening at the Den, but I would imagine, Millwall going to be a little bit tired from the game, and the extra day plus 45 minutes rest will be key for us, and we'll be able to kind of probably not grind out. I don't think grind out is probably the right description, but I mean, it's not going to be an easy afternoon by any stretch of the imagination. We know the way Millwall play. It's Alex Neil is kind of almost a perfect manager for that Millwall team. But I think we'll still have enough quality to get the job done. And 2-0.
2-0. Do you know what? I was going to go for 2-0 as well. Same sort of reasons. I think it won't be as easy as it has been, but I still think we'll get the job done. Glenn, you thinking the same?
I was actually going to say 2-0, but I won't. I'll go back to us chucking a goal in, and I'll go for 3-1.
3-1.
3-1 win. Yeah, confident going into
3-1.
This one. Means nothing, but
I actually remembered to put my prediction in the website this week, so I actually got my first point, I think, for correctly. Hurrah! I was something like 190th in alphabetical order.
Alex Neil. I remember him being manager in Norwich and Stoke at various times. He sort of, he journeys around the Championship, doesn't he? If I remember this right, does he always? He's really dour and always moans about everything. He always seems to be.
Oh, and he's Scottish. Does that
very depressed about things? But I mean, it won't quite be Nathan Jones levels, but it might be interesting listening to the interviews after the game on Saturday if we can turn them over.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope he's not happy. If you want to play along with the predictions, all you need is your Patreon login. You can find the updated leaderboard and how to play on the website. Just head to totalsaints.co.uk.